He's over there competing. So proud of
This
him.
is my first competition.
I'm averaging 3
That's really
minutes.
cool.
Hey, Sean here from SpeedCubeReview.com. With competition starting up again, there's going to be many new competitors going to them, and a lot of people who have not been to one in a while. So, let's go through all the things that you need to know when going to a competition. This video is going to go over how to sign up for competition, what to expect at a competition, how to follow the rules at a competition as well. So make sure to hit like and subscribe for more content like this in the future, and come along to learn about all the things you'll need to know to go to a competition. So the most common competitions you will see are ones that are put on by the WCA, the World Cube Association. And if you go to the worldcubeassociation.com, you can look up competitions near you. There's often a lot more than people think. I've had many times people contact me saying, oh, there's no competitions in my area, and there's at least like half a dozen within the past couple of years. So check that out. If there really is nothing, see if there's a delegate in your area to help put one on. Most competitions are free or cost very little money. You check there, sign up for one, and when the day comes, you show up. Sometimes delegates will send out information that you might need to know as far as parking and times. When you sign up for a competition, you do not need to sign up for every event. You can sign up for one. You can actually just show up and not sign up for any and just observe or help out. That's most of the time. I would ask the person in charge to make sure that they are okay with that though. But you can sign up for just 3x3. You don't even have to sign up for that. You can sign up for just 2x2 as well. Let's talk about some of the times though. I know a lot of people avoid competitions because they don't think they're fast enough, when really you could beat any time. Especially for 3x3, the stack mats go to 10 minutes. And if you need longer than that, often the delegates will be accommodating for it. So anyone can go to a competition at any time. I've been to competitions with people over 2 minutes. Almost every single competition I've been to, there's been people over 1 minute. And that's not a problem for anyone. If anything, we're really excited when people come along who are just starting out. So never be afraid whatever time you are at. Plus, if you come to competitions early in your cubing career, that means it's easier to beat your times the next time around. For some other events, there are cutoffs. There's two different types of cutoffs. There's a cutoff and a time limit. The cutoff is what you will need to pass to do a full average. So if there's an average of 5, often you'll get 2 chances to get that. Now, I didn't meet cutoff in the first 1 or 2 times I did 4x4 or one-handed. And so don't be afraid to do it. That's why they're there, for you to try it, even if you are not at that speed. There are time limits, unfortunately, for some events. That way, just keep the competition moving. So if you are doing 4x4 and I think there's a competition where the time limit was 3 minutes. So if your time goes beyond that, they ask you to solve your cube off to the side. They'll count it as a DNF, which is did not finish. And then often you'll get a second chance to try it again. But for 3x3, I've never seen time limits or even cutoffs for that besides maybe the 10 minutes. But if you're above there, talk to your delegate. Let's go into the day of. This is the exciting time. And you show up at the event. Some competitions I've been to, you register to let people know that you have arrived. And other ones, you just show up and you will have a set group that you are in for each event. This is where it varies from one competition to another. Sometimes I've been emailed it. Sometimes it's just posted on the wall when you get there. So for example, for 3x3, there might be 12 different groups of people, and each group gets a different set of scrambles. That way, they don't have every single person waiting to go, but some people can help out. Unless it's a really big event like the National Championship, every competition I've been to, they love people helping out, whether that is scrambling, running, or judging. With scrambling, you're expected to know a bit more and have a bit more responsibility, so they don't always just give that responsibility to anyone. Running is really easy. That is the person that takes the cube from those who scramble it, calls out the name, and brings it to the table where they are going to be solving the cube. This can be a little bit difficult as you do have to call out names, and I have been responsible of mispronouncing many names in the past, so don't worry too much about it. It's always good to help. The big thing though is judging. We are just going to go into a full solve and you will see how the judging works and how the solver works. So when it's your turn to solve, you will often hear your group being called. Every competition I've been to, you bring your puzzle to a table where you will have a card. That way they can see that your card is set with your puzzle. And then you go and wait in the waiting area. In the waiting area, you can have some other puzzles to keep your hands busy. You can have your camera you're going to record with. You just need to make sure you're not talking about other things that have to do with the scrambles. Because some people might be already doing scrambles that you haven't done yet, and you cannot talk about that. Then when your name is called, you will head over to the table that you will be solving the cube at. The runner will drop off your cube, as well as the card, which the judge will have. Unless you are blind solving, you do not touch the box that the cube is under. The judge will ask,
Ready?
And if you're ready, you can say, ready.
Ready.
The judge will lift the box and start a 15-second timer. And here you have time to inspect the puzzle. The judge responsibility, when the timer reaches 8 seconds, they call 8 seconds. And at 12 seconds, they call
12 seconds.
We'll go over penalties in just a minute. But for now, within those 15 seconds, put the cube back on the mat, make sure it's not touching the timer, and place your hands on the timer. You want to make sure that you lift off your hands before the end of the 15-second inspection, because even when they're down, that still counts towards the inspection time. The judge is there also to make sure that you're not doing anything incorrectly. For example, if you do end up getting a twisted corner, you can twist it back. But if you are just twisting random corners to solve the puzzle, that is not allowed. So they are checking for things like that. When you have solved the puzzle, you will drop it on the table and stop the timer. From here, do not touch the puzzle under any circumstance. The judge is there to make sure that it is also solved, or to include any penalties or DNFs, which is did not finish, if it is not solved completely. I personally have been judging when someone had a possible +2 and then picked up their puzzle to check it out, which turned it into a DNF because it ended up moving some pieces. If everything is good, or if they do include any penalties, they will write down your time. There the judge will initial next to the time, and then you will also initial it to confirm that you agree with that time. You will get up and go back to the waiting area. The judge will put your cube back in the box with the card, and the runner picks it up and gives it back to the scramblers. After your 5 solves, you can then grab your puzzle and go back into the audience. Some things you might get penalized for. Now don't worry, it happens, and even the top professionals get penalties, even in world championships. Some of the most common ones I see are where you have one move left to solve. This could be a U, a U2, an R2. Unfortunately, middle slices are not counted as a single move. So if you are off by, let's say, an M2, let's say you're doing roux solving, or you did a U perm or H permutation, that counts as 2 moves and it is a DNF. It did not finish. If it is 1 move off, it is +2, which is +2 seconds added onto your time. Not a big difference on big cubes, but on a 2x2 or 3x3, it can really make a huge difference in your times. You could also get +2 seconds for other things, such as starting the timer with more your palms, stopping the timer with the sides of your hand, and a few other things that you should check out in the regulations below. I will link that in the description. While you're at the competition, definitely talk to people. Everyone is there for cubing, whether they are there to compete or there to support others who are competing. So don't be afraid to reach out. There's often people at tables just solving each other's puzzles, practicing, chatting, make new friends. It's a great place to meet people. And if you see anyone that you would like a signature from, ask them. But ask them when they are not competing or judging or any of that. Ask when they are free to do so. And that's basically it. It's so much fun to go to competitions. It's one of my favorite things, and I cannot wait to start going to competitions again, mostly to see people that I miss seeing. Solving the puzzle is just the cherry on top. Thank you very much for watching. If you still have questions, leave them in the comment section below. Hit like and subscribe for more content like this in the future. And as always, stop by speedcubeview.com for more news and reviews.
That's really cool.